just finishing up a bowl in this S&M pipe. What does that stand for? Sylvia and Mark or something. I mean, it's kind of a gimmick name, but I picked this up at a Chicago pipe show maybe a few years ago. I like it though. Nice big freehand, nice wood, not many fills. Yeah. Smoking the last of some Balkan Supreme out in my winter smoking area here, which is the back porch. I just don't smoke in the house. I just am not interested in doing that. You know, I grew up with smokers, always smoked in the house. It didn't bother me at all, but to each their own. Kitty, kitty, do you want to come up? No? Okay. So, the cat and I are just sitting out here smoking. Yeah, this is wool weather. It's getting below freezing, which in the Pacific Northwest with all that moisture, oh, very chilly. I went up and had Thanksgiving with what I call my Seattle family. Although it's now the Whidbey Island family, since everybody's moved up there. But I thought, God, I cannot face riding. It was like 27 degrees or something. The predicted low was going to be like 21. But sunny, so that was a plus. So I loaded up the car, made a couple pies and some cranberries, and took a little wine and some other stuff, and went over to the Kingston ferry, and it was like a 3-boat wait. Oh. And that would have just totally screwed up the schedule. So I drove back home, got the bike going, just long johns, pants, Gore-Tex pants, and then I don't have any heated gear. Actually, I do have an old heated vest somebody gave me, but he gave it to me because he got kind of fat, and then before that he had to put a new switch on it because it caught fire while he was riding. So I don't really trust it. I do have a plug-in for it. Man, that was cold. And I was grumpy. I did not want to ride. You know, I wanted to drive. I wanted heated seats. But, you know, it was a beautiful day. And there were a couple other motorcyclists out there, and so we commiserated. But the ride home was really cold after Thanksgiving dinner. This is American Thanksgiving, not Canadian. So, yeah. Oh, brr. I'm less tolerant to that, I think, nowadays than I was way back when. When that was nothing, you know. I remember we went up to Vancouver for a memorial or some such, and it was 10 o'clock at night, and we rode back home, and it was like 23 degrees or something. And that's kind of a long ride, you know. That's pushing 3 hours or more, and that constant wind chill, you know. Ooh, that was very cold. I think that's the coldest I've ever been because of the duration of the ride. But you just have to know how to dress for it, and then be prepared for it in your head. And then it's actually okay. Like most things that you dread ahead of time, because you're making up this, oh my God, it's going to be so cold, or it's going to be so painful, or it's going to be so embarrassing, or it's going to be so whatever, you know, something bad. And then once you're in that place, really it's not that bad. if you're in the present moment, just kind of observing it. But initially, I was, and some guy looked like he rode a Harley. You know, you can just sort of tell these things. On the ferry, he said, "Yeah, thumbs up for riding," and I said, "No way! I'm doing this because I have to." You know, I would have been backlogged 3 boats if I'd driven. And he said, "Oh, really?" You know, he wanted to make it such a good thing, and I was still really grumpy. So it's all in your head, really. I mean, yeah, it's cold, but you dress for it, and that's it. That's just how it is, and it's really not as, you know, we're not riding 1,000 miles through it. And the roads were dry, and, you know, it was sunny. It was nice. But boy, you ride a motorcycle on the Washington State ferries here and you get, bang, to the head of the line. You load first, you get off first, you always get on the boat. They'll fit in somewhere, somehow. It was just a way to do it. I mean, of course, the latest statistic I read is that motorcycling is overall 38, you're 38 times more likely 38 times more likely to be in a serious accident on a motorcycle than in a car. Now, they did say that if you are over 30, age 30, don't drink, don't drug, don't be pulling wheelies on the freeway, you know, driving just badass crazy, then that probably drops it by half. But still, that's like 15 times or more, you know, more likely to be in a serious wreck. And I believe that. You just have to be like constantly vigilant, you know. They're gonna kill me. I know they are. They're aiming to kill me. So I need to be aware of that and, you know, prepare to evade. Anyway, it was a good Thanksgiving. A lot of people say that Thanksgiving is their favorite holiday, because really it's kind of a no-load family gets together, but there isn't a whole lot of baggage around it. Christmas, wow, Christmas, ooh. For me, growing up, there was always a lot of drinking, and, you know, 3 p.m. on Christmas Day, that is the nadir of the year. That is the bottom of the year. That is the worst day of the year for me growing up. And I'm still like probably traumatized by that. So still Christmas Day at about 3 p.m. is just like, ugh. If I did drugs, I'd do them. But I don't, so you just have to wait it out. Yeah, just the, you know, with Christmas Day at 3 p.m., it was like all the presents have been opened, all the fun. I mean, you do have your presents, you know, whatever you got, and so you're playing with those or whatever and having fun with those. And maybe some cousins came over or something, and so you're having fun with them. But by 3 o'clock, you're kind of tired, probably, of your cousins and maybe the things you got for Christmas. And then the parents have been drinking for a while, and they're getting kind of testy, and it's a short day, almost the shortest day of the year. So, you know, by 3, it's starting to be dark. And it's usually cold, and all you have to look forward to is dark and cold and going back to school. And it's just like, ugh. Okay, so let's not talk anymore about that. I'm getting depressed. I love this hat. This is a funky hat, I realize that. But it's got these ear flaps that come down. And it's lined with plaid, kind of I think it's all cotton probably, but it's really cozy and nice, and it kind of, you know, I like a brimmed hat because it sort of keeps the heat from just going up. Kind of protects you from the wind a little bit. So that combined with this woolly Filson jacket, pretty cozy. Yeah, so we had a good time up on Whidbey. Boy, friends and family. I mean, they're really like family. Gotta love them. Got to love them. I mean, they're just, you know, they're there for you. So. Great people. So a little luxury that I partake of, a fair amount actually, is I see movies. I know in college, there was a theater right off campus that showed kind of indie films. They weren't necessarily current films. And it cost like $2 a ticket. I mean, it was just so cheap. And I just loved that. And so we have not quite an indie theater nearby up in Kingston that there's a new movie out called Knives Out. So it was surprisingly highly rated. I was thinking it was going to be kind of like, but it's getting great reviews, so I think we'll do that tonight. I love doing that. And I don't mind seeing movies by myself. I don't really like going to restaurants and eating by myself. I mean, I will, but normally I'll just stop by a grocery store and pick up a little something if I'm hungry, rather than going to a restaurant. I don't know why. Maybe food, like kind of like the pipe, is a social thing, whereas a movie, you can't talk during the movie. You better not. So I do like to see movies with friends, though, and then talk about it afterwards. That's always a lot of fun. But, you know, the norm is everybody does Netflix or Hulu or, you know, their subscription service of choice, Amazon Prime, and they watch at home. I get that. You know, that makes a lot of sense. Gosh, I can remember when I was in college, and that was a while ago, late 70s, early 80s. There was a woman who had coined herself a futurist. Her name was Faith Popcorn. And she predicted cocooning at home, where people would just stay home, they'd work from home, they'd be entertained at home through the web, they'd order their groceries from home and have them delivered. Wow, was she right? She was totally correct about that. And I remember thinking, maybe in the biggest cities there'll be little pockets of people cocooning or whatever that don't want to go outside because they'll get robbed or shot or something. But no, I mean, it is the trend. It is the way, with all kinds of social ramifications too, I might add. But I have to admit, I mean, when I'm here and I get my little cabin all heated up, you know, I make a fire in the wood stove, and then I've got that little boat heater, propane boat heater, the Dickinson, in the kitchen, and I'll have those going. And oh, it gets really cozy in there. And the cat's laying on the heat rug, you know, they're those things that go underneath your rug and just provide a mild heat, sort of like radiant floor heating. So I've got a couple of those. So she just lays her all stretched out, you know, and you feel underneath where she's against the rug, and she's just so warm. So I have to admit, I find it hard to leave. Like yesterday was Black Friday, and or was today? What is today? See, I already lost track. Yesterday was Black Friday because I raked the leaves off the yard. So today's Saturday. I haven't left home. There are a lot of weekends I just don't leave home. I just, I find that so strange. I mean, part of it's my back. I'm just not into walking a lot right now. Hopefully that'll get taken care of soon. The ongoing. Get her fixed. So I guess I'm cocooning too. Kitty kitty, you want to come up? No? Okay. She's out here with me. She kind of, yeah, kind of keeps me company. She's kind of like a dog. Not as aloof as most cats, but still very much a cat. See, if you can stay warm, smoking outside is just great. You know, evening is falling. I love to smoke like at twilight and watch the evening come down. It's just, can you stay warm enough? And I have to admit, I'm wearing some pack boots, the Canadian ones. They, I forget the brand name of those. I got them for my dad. This is a Christmas gift years ago. Like, golly, 35 years ago. I found them at an Army Navy surplus store. They were new, but in Denver. And he never wore them too much. So when he passed, my mom said, "Hey, do you want those?" I thought, "Yeah, sure, I'll wear them." So they're perfect, you know, they have that wool liner that you can pull out and dry. And when it snows, they're really awesome. But even when it's just cold, they keep your feet nice and cozy. But no snow for us. The rest of the country seems to be getting walloped. So, yay. Even though I do kind of like the snow when it comes. None in the forecast either. Meanwhile, in Australia, talk about, could you send a little of that heat our way? You can have the smoke from the wildland fires, but we'd love a little of that heat. Anyway, I'm pretty comfortable here. So happy Thanksgiving. American Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope it was good.